So we are going to go over it's going to be the final thing for probably for our Hocking College bookstore from the wireframe. My plan is hopefully if everything goes right is us to start utilizing Webflow so you can see the differences in between creating something from scratch using a wireframe and then using something like Webflow. So anyways, so this is my starting point, pretty much picking up where the last video was. I still didn't quite figure out why this nav is not up here, but it's just, it is what it is right now. My assumption is I got a div that's off somewhere. My images, that's just because I haven't updated my files whenever I copied and pasted the file into a new folder, and I'll be fixing that here shortly as well. So what I have here, if you can kind of see here for this tutorial, it's the HC Bookstore tutorial. It's got some of the files, CSS files that we've been playing with. I do have that logo, but it's not in an image folder, which is why it's producing that error. It's not showing. I have an index, which is what you just saw, and then I have style. So that's pretty much everything that we've been playing with up until now. So let me go ahead and fix the logo or fix the image, because the issue that I have is I didn't create another folder that was named images, so the directory is off. See here on the header in the top part of it, the source is looking for a folder named images, and there's not one in this particular folder structure. This is a folder. Okay, so if I just take that off, and then there's one on the bottom, and take off that, and all it has is the name Hocking College logo JPEG, Hocking College logo JPEG. It's not nested in a folder, so the browser just knows to, hey, and somewhere in this folder there's a file called Hocking College logo JPEG. So if I save it, and then it should refresh by itself. Oh, why are you not working? On the wrong one. It's so hard to tell. Nope, it's not that one. It saved, right? Hocking College logo, blah, 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 blah. That's the one I already fixed. Let me close that out. I think that's the one I already did. Hold on. Just open it and start from the beginning. There it is. Okay. So you can see the images are now there. So I made a little to-do list. So, okay, next is I'm going to clean up this HTML file a little bit because it is getting a little bit of a long scroll there. So I'm going to create a new file, going to name it CSS. No, I'm going to name it grid styles.css. And I'm taking everything that was related to grid, which I believe right now is everything in between the style tags. Cut, Control X, Control V for pasting, save it. Now I need to add that grid style CSS up in here. Link rel equals style sheet href equals grid styles.css. Close it. So nothing should change. Doesn't look like it has, so that's good. Because if I'll show you what it looked like if I forgot to do that. It's that. All the grid styling is gone. But since I didn't remember or didn't forget to do that, it's still there. So it's good. Okay. But it saves us some scroll. Let's see, what else do I have? Okay, making SASS file. Okay. So I mentioned in another video about how, us looking for the particular color codes for the Hawking College colors, the blue and the orange and the green. If we can just make a variable and name it once and grab that hex code once and just call up on the variable, that'll make our lives a little bit easier. And so, wait for this to respond to something. Maybe. Pause this while it's crashing. Okay, I'm back. And now, SASS. So we're going to create our SASS file. So we're going to go to terminal. There are multiple ways of creating the SASS compiler. We're doing it this way. There's also a live or an extension that you can use, but I like this way. So this is what we're doing. I'm going to click on new terminal, and right now it's telling me where I'm at. So that was terminal, new terminal. And right now it's telling me where I'm at. This should say command. I don't know what other options are. This should say hopefully command. Make sure you got terminal. This tells me right now I'm in C drive, users, pinwheel, desktop, HTML, CSS2, which is great, but it's not exactly where I want to be. Where I want to be is actually in a folder called Week 5, HC Bookstore, HC Bookstore Tutorial. So to get there quickly and easily, I can click on the folder that I want to be in, which is for me HC Bookstore Tutorial. Right click, copy path, not relative path, but path. Type in CD for change directory, Control V to paste it. And now it'll tell me I'm in the desktop HTML. Now it tells me exactly where I wanted to be. I'm in week 5, HC Bookstore tutorial. Okay. So I'm in the folder where I'm going to be doing the work, which is where I want. So now I'm going to create the file, the SASS file, the .scss file. And the command to do that is touch. Put a paste. Okay. Touch. Shoot. Touch. And I'm going to name it HC colors.scss. So it's touch. It wraps. There we go. So touch HCs for Hawking College, doing camel casing colors, and this file is an extension of .scss. And hit enter, and it's touching, which means it's creating HC colors.scss. Now I want to do the command of SASS, and I'm telling it the input. I'm going to be putting stuff in the this file, which is hccolors.scss, which is what we just created. But the output is going to come out of hccolors.css. And over here, you can see it's created the SCSS file of HC colors. It's also should have, created this little map thing. And then, which we won't be doing anything with. And then it also created the CSS files, which we won't actually be editing. We'll be doing all our edits in the SCSS, but the browser can't read SCSS. It has to be transpiled into the CSS. Okay. So we created that. So let's go ahead and enter the SASS file. What happened? That was in the wrong one. Should have created it a little bit separate there. There shouldn't be anything in it right now. Okay. So once we created that SASS file, that SCSS file, there should be blank like this. I think I should have separated those files, those folders more. But anyways, so we got a blank SCSS file. And so let's go ahead and put our color. So we got HC green, HC blue, HC, I think they call it yellow, but I call it orange. So I'm going to stick with orange. And then to figure out what those colors are, let's go to the Hocking College website and just show you what I did. So I'm in the Hocking College website. I can find, say I want to start with the green. Right click on it and hit inspect. And it opens up the console or opens up the dev tools. And then I just kind of figure out, get my scroll on. So here's the color. So I got a hex code. Just need to Control C. Back in here, it's a green. Shoot. Green. Make sure I got a semicolon. Okay, green's done. Let's see if I can find any other colors here. There's orange. Oopsie. Orange is done. I just need the blue. Down in here, inspect. Somewhere I'll see blue. Maybe it's in here somewhere. There we go. Oops. Sometimes it catches the hashtag number sign, and sometimes it doesn't. So, what do I got going on here? Why is it giving? Oh, that should be a colon, not a semicolon. There we go. And you can see down here, it's actually telling you, what's it telling me? There's a problem. The problem doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so I fixed that. But what it's doing is watching, and you can actually see down here, it's watching. And what that means is it's watching the SCS file, and then it should automatically be on all the time. And you just saw me stop it and start it. But it should be what it does. It's watching the SCS file. So for any kind of edits and changes in the styling, it's going to automatically put it in the CSS file. So it's watching them. So it's just watching. Okay. So we got this. Now let's kind of start from the beginning. Okay, first thing we need to do, we need to add our style sheet. And we're not doing the SCSS. Remember, the only thing, the browser doesn't read the SCSS. It has to read the CSS. So we do the link rel equals style sheet href equals hccolors.css. Remember, whenever we created and we did the touch .scss file, and then we did the SASS, the command of let's see, I don't think I can see. No, because remember, whenever I don't know, can I look at back stuff? Yeah, I can. Okay. So remember, whenever we did the command of SASS, and we were saying our input is the SCSS file, and our output is the CSS file. The output, again, is what the browser reads, and that's why we put that in here. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so we got that in there, so we're just kind of starting from the beginning. I'm not going to mess with the bootstrap. I'm just not going to touch it. I've already made whatever changes I have, and I don't really want to break something that's already working somewhat. So we're just going to bypass the bootstrap stuff. And you can see if it's bootstrap by a couple different ways. One is like there's like, several classes, because that's just how bootstrap is. And all this area stuff, which is best practices. It's just hard to remember all that stuff. That's one of the advantages of using something like Bootstrap, but it's hard to remember just on your own. But we can kind of see all this stuff is Bootstrap, not touching Bootstrap. Let's see. Okay, this is still Bootstrap, not touching it. Okay, now we get to here. So we got a class of, this is the blue header. Go ahead and get that. I don't need that. This is that blue area right here. So what I can do is, let's see, let's go to this SCSS. And we're going to name this header banner. So it's going to be our class of a header banner. And we're going to say our background color is going to be, I can't spell background. Color is going to be the HC green. So use the variable HC, and I want it to be blue. Blue, 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 blue. Okay. And let's see, what else do I want? That image, that's a very long URL that I grabbed in that logo, and I don't want to keep that in there because it makes it scroll longer. I'm talking about in here. I don't want to keep that in there. So let's make another one, say logo header, something like that. And then I can do background image of URL, and I go back in here and select all of that. Oops. Cut that, Control X, go back in here and paste it in here, do a word wrap. Looks like I got it all. Okay. Okay, and then I think that's all it's going to do on that. So now we're going to look for a class. We're going to name our class. We got our class name header banner. The background color is going to be this HC blue, and it's going to have a logo header, and the URL is for the image is already in here, so I don't have to use it in here. I can just call on it in a different way. So what was it? Header banner. Okay. So I can leave all this stuff in here because it still has the grids, and I want to keep the grids, but I just want to play with the colors and stuff, or just use SASS so I can make easy updates if I want to change it. Okay, so it's just a class, so I can just already got class declared here, div class. This was for the grid, and I can just continue to add classes. So it's, what was it again? Header banner. Header banner. And then I can take out that, and instead, under this class still, it was header banner logo header. Okay, so the color is the colors change. This looks like I need to do some edits here. It's there, but I think somehow the size of it kind of got mucked up. And it's crashing again. Okay. Let's see if I can make some easy edits. If it's not going to be easy, we're just going to comment it out. Let's see if we can change the width to, let's try fix content, fit content. Okay, well, I made it go away. Trying a couple of things right here, and if I can't get it to work, then we're just gonna get rid of it. Background. Oh, I wanted to do like the auto where it tells me what I can choose from. Because I don't always remember. I never remember. Background. Maybe it was size. Oh, maybe, okay, I think it was contain. Oh. Well, it did something. Background. Repeat. No repeat. Okay, it's just one. Oh, let's see. Background. I don't think I want contain. What other options were there? Let's try auto. And it does that again. This one doesn't work. I'm just going to comment it out. It doesn't work. So you can see how you can play with it. For this tutorial, it's not worth the fight. But you'll notice that I didn't even have to add the image. I just add the image through calling the class of logo header banner because that was the parent. And then logo header was the child in that parent. So I'm just going to comment that out. There we go. Okay, that's fine. Okay, moving on. Word wrap this. So now we're into the grid area. And say, let's go back into here. And I'm going to name a class called grid colors. Yeah. And I want the background color to be calling on the variable HC green. And I can even play with the grid gap if I want. Grid gap, I want it to be 2 pixels. And let's see what else. Let's leave it at that. And so nothing's happened yet because I haven't applied the class here. So here's the div class. It's got, you can see it's the grid of the gifts and clothing. So I'll have in here and some images. So what was this called again? Oh, let me show you something else. So I haven't showed this yet on this particular tutorial. So we've been doing all of this stuff on the SCSS file, but if you actually look on the CSS file, you can see how it's creating the content. I've not typed in anything on the CSS file because I forgot to open it until just now, just to show you. But all of our content has been inputted in the SCSS file, and it's outputted in the CSS file. And as you can see. And remember, we called upon here in the style sheet the CSS file. And so every time you make any kind of update, so let's go ahead and continue with this. Let's go ahead and add one more thing to it. Font, family, Arial. Actually, let's play with some of the properties that we can do. So font, this is a property, so it's font, colon, and creating another scope. Family, Arial, and let's change the color, the font. Oh, I'll fix it in just a second. Color. That should never be color. Okay, color. And I'm going to do, let's do the HC blue. Okay. And so I'm going to take out that word font because I don't need it because I have font right there. If I hit save, and if I go in here, and then grid colors. Okay, so grid colors, got background color, got grid gap, font family. But interesting enough, font color is not the correct syntax to call upon a color. So that's not going to work in there because it's looking for font color, which just doesn't, it's not the correct way to call upon the color. So what I'm going to do is take it from here and put it in here where it's just like a basically just calling on it, because here it was calling upon the using font. So font is fine, like font family, like if I just start with else's font. Font size, I can do, you know, I don't know, 30 pixels, and then take out the word font because it's already up here. And then when I save it, it tells me it's watching. And why is it not watching? Why did it not do it? Oh, I forgot the semicolon. Okay. Now let's see. Now it's watching. So I got a font size. Did something else. Yeah, it was up here. I did that. I don't think that's what I meant to do though. That's not what I wanted. I wanted it here under grid colors. Okay, grid colors, grid gap. Okay, so you can see all those changes that we're making. And the SCS file is being applied in the CSS file. So let's go back in here. Why is it not working? The grid, oh. I didn't apply it in here, did I yet? Grid colors. Nope. So I need to do the class of grid colors. There we go. And you can see that my font is that blue color and my gap is smaller. Okay. And so let's see, let's do the orange now. So I'm going down in here. I'm going to name this footer banner class. And the background color is going to be calling upon the variable $symbol HC orange. And I can do that logo again, calling upon that image logo. So like say we update our logo, we want to make sure it goes on all the pages. This would be the easiest way to do it as opposed to doing individual pages. Logo footer. And do background image. And it's going to be, it's not nested in a folder named images, so I just call upon what it is. URL Hocking College logo JPEG. There it is. I need quotes. Semicolon. Yeah, semicolon. Yeah, there we go. One semicolon. And let's play with the width and see what happens. Do something like this. Why do I keep putting equal sign? Okay. And so if I look at my CSS, you'll see that I have a footer banner. The only thing I have in there is background color is that orange, but I also have something that's in my footer banner. It's called a logo footer. It's a child, parent. There's the image and got some width and height. So let's go ahead and add that to our HTML. So I'm just going to add this class footer banner. And then I'm going to take out this image style source, all of that stuff. And I'm just going to add it in here. Footer, banner, logo, footer. Let's see what happens. Okay, well, I lost the logo. I think it was 100, so let me put that back to 100. Well, it's starting to show. Let's try this a different way. Let's do the background. Okay. And background. And yes, I could be nesting the properties, but I'm still trying to figure it out, so I'm not worrying about nesting. Size. Oh, shoot. I keep hitting the wrong one. I don't know if you noticed or not. But if you need like the auto help to tell you what to do, what your options are, make sure you're clicking on the one that has like the little wrench, because then it'll do this. Okay. Background. Repeat. No repeat. Okay. And I'm just gonna leave it like that. That works. This could be styled differently, but this works for what we're trying to do. There was something else. Oh, but say, oh, it's freezing on me again. And actually, let's go ahead and make this, use the property nesting on here, now that I kind of know what I'm doing. Background, the background colon, because it's going to append all this stuff. So all I have to do, do the open curly, close that curly. So all I have to do is take out versus all the background dash stuff. It should work. Okay. And if you look in the CSS, it just still says background image, background position, background size, and all that stuff. So it's good. Um, okay. Um, but say we want to change the colors. Say instead of blue, green, orange, we want it orange to be part of the grid color. I'm in the grid colors class. I'm just calling up on the orange. And then it changes it. And say they decide to change the color of the orange. Say that instead of this, they wanted it to be, trying to get something here. There we go. Say they want something like that. They call it yellow, so let it be yellow. There we go. Let's say they want that color instead. So I changed it here. It's say this is, what their new considered orange. And if I just save it, you can look on the CSS file. The grid color has changed there to this new little orange, yellow, whatever. And now it's also changed in here. So instead of us having, to kind of control F, find all the instances where we got that one particular color, we can just, put that back. We can just, change it on one spot and it'll automatically update through all the other stuff. Why is it giving me an error? What's it missing? Oh, here. So say I want this to be, okay, we changed that to orange. Say I want the banner to be green. Same thing. I just need to go up here and change it to green. I don't have to look up for hex codes or anything of that nature. I can just do whatever I want. Okay. So this is how you can use some SASS to update whatever project. Some of you guys are working on some different projects, which is fine, and not the bookstore webpage, which is fine. But for whatever your particular project is, this is how you can utilize some SASS in there to make your CSS a little bit easier to build as you make bigger pages. So that's the recap for the HC Bookstore using SASS.